Liner notes have the beauty to connect who the writer is to the performer or the process of the performance, how things come together. It often too colorizes or creates a story around why you should buy this record.
You do the liner notes?
Early on in the day when I was a college DJ back in the 80s, I was doing a jazz program, and I was dealing with a lot of vinyl at that time. It was a little too early to start really looking at CDs. I think CDs were few and far between, and it was the liner notes that gave me an education on different musicians, different artists, processes, and things like that. And again, this was before the internet came about. And I was also a music journalist. I was writing articles and reviews about up-and-coming artists, contemporary artists, people who've been around for a while. But there were times where I would get CDs or get albums that I just did not like at all, and I found it very hard to review them.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I couldn't be that kind of critic. It's not that I didn't have it in me, or I just didn't think it was very nice.
If you didn't like their work, you didn't want to damage their careers.
Absolutely, and that's not...
And their psyche.
And their psyche. True, I mean, I've seen some great critical reviews that had dissected why perhaps a sound would not work or an album would not work for the listener. But I really think that's so subjective. And I oftentimes don't think it's really anybody's place to do that. You know, it's one thing to have an opinion, but I don't think it's really anybody's place to do that. And so I felt the best way for me to convey my love or adoration for something is to write about it in a more permanent form. So rather than write an article, I thought, well, liner notes, it's something I always found were...
But that's creative and constructive, liner notes, because what you're doing is you're encapsulating the spirit and the sentiment, right? And the whole album or CD in that context, right?
It is. It is very much about capturing a spirit of something. And I also, for my own personal reasons, love the permanence of liner notes. That here they are on the recording. They're with the recording. They're companioned with the recording. So it's not as if you have to peruse through a newspaper or a magazine or even online. And in this day and age, we don't really have the attention spans, which is almost a construct of having so much accessibility to information.
Right.
To retain where we read something that we liked. I mean, I can tell you that I look at several reviews a day and fall in love with something and say, oh, I'm going to make sure that I listen to this, but you have to listen to it right away, whereas the beauty of the physical object of the recording, and in the case of the albums, you can tangibly have everything at your fingertips. And I think that's a great gift that the artist is giving you, and that in turn is a great gift that I could give the artist to write something favorable about them.
That also means you're a good writer. I mean, to be able to do that and capture it, it requires some skills that way, too.
I'd hope so, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking with, learning from, and listening to Mary Edwards at maryedwardsmusic.com. She's a composer. She produces film scores. She's a singer-songwriter. She plays many instruments. And you can reach her at maryedwardsmusic.com. I really want to thank you for being here today, and I hope that you will come back and talk to us again, perhaps with some other musicians that you love and respect.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you so much.